When she came on screen at first, she said, Rennie, I want to kill you. I want to kill you. I said, I'm sorry.
Do you do the scary movie and accidentally scare yourself?
I've done quite a bit of horror. I had to recreate some of the voices. When I'm working alone in the dark, and for these sort of stories, most of the time I do it in the daytime. You never know lah.
Better, safer. Do you tell her, hey, you don't sound like you're dying, try again?
New actresses, you have to be very tender with them. They don't exude the confidence yet. You know, when I work with some of the guys from Crazy Rich Asians or even the Marco Polo, very professional. You tell them to put this on, pop, they get it. Put this on, pop.
As a recording engineer, right, and sound designer, what are some of the roles in movies that you are involved in, such as Crazy Rich Asian and Marco Polo? What are some of the roles and responsibilities that you are?
Let's say, for instance, Crazy Rich Asians and I mean a bunch of American movies that we've also, done, because also partially it's because the artists are somewhere in the region. So they look for studios that are properly tuned. Meaning like acoustics has to be right, because
Dolby Atmos certified.
Yeah, that's the mixing stage, but the recording, because for the American movies normally we do the ADR, because ADR is the automated dialogue replacement, where we replace the dialogue, the location dialogue with dialogue that's been recorded in the studio for reasons of.
Is it like when I'm recording a scene at the seaside, and then there's a lot of like waves, right?
Yeah.
Those same actors go into the studio and re-dub whatever they say.
Yeah.
Isn't it very difficult?
And rooftops, I look at a shot. Seasides and rooftop definitely ADR. The greatest apprehension about ADR is that it sounds dubbed. A lot of Hollywood movies, even like Crazy Rich Asians, I think it was like 50 to 60% dubbed. But you can't tell, right? It's the process of how we do it and how we EQ and how we normalize everything. So once we record the voice, there's nothing in the background. Right? Let's say they're at the seaside. Okay, that's where we put in the effects for seaside wash on the beach, and we sync the waves. We have to sync the waves because you see sometimes the white water wash crashes onto the beach. You got to sync that too. Sometimes there are footsteps. Okay, yeah. Sometimes the guy like touches this or he scratches his hair a bit. But that one, okay, not so much sound. I'll just say he beats his chest. We got to include all that because when you re-record the voice, all those sounds are gone. So you have to recreate all that.
So that's why you see a lot of those kind of like YouTube shorts or TikTok. There's a bunch of people like taking non-related items to create thunder crashes like aluminium foil. Then they can make
Foley. When we do TikTok, it's all very ad hoc, and it's played on your phone. You don't really hear much bass or much whatever. You know what I mean? So it's presentable enough for dialogue. But when you go into cinema or you're watching on your home screen, immersive. You will hear everything. You will hear if the dialogue is distorted. You will hear, it just gets very disruptive. Let's just say, especially because I do quite a bit of horror also. Horror. What's king? No, silence.
Yeah.
Let's say we go someplace, and it's a night street, and there are cars passing in the background. You don't want that. I mean, especially when the person is in a state of fright, or he sees something, he gets scared off, or he's just to build the tension, take out all the sound, and just add layer by layer, and that's how you build the tension.
Do you do the scary movie and accidentally scare yourself?
All the time. All the time.
When you add a silence, then you don't know when the ghost coming out.
Yeah. I mean, I've done quite a bit of horror in here. I mean, in Singapore. I mean, I've done one called for Grace 2359 Part 2. I do even done some sort of zombie movies also for HBO. And then I had to recreate some of the voices. Grace on HBO. I had to recreate the voice of this lady. She came back as a ghost to haunt her lover, who was a married man and he had his family and everything. And she came to haunt the man and his family. And the last scene, her voice changed. We had to do a lot of processing, and sometimes I would put in some of my voice because there's some growls and so forth. Because you have to process stuff, so it's fun stuff, But actually, I must just say at this point, some of the, sometimes people come to me with real ghost stories. Those things are a bit more scary because when I'm walking alone in the dark, and for these sort of stories, I most of the time I do it in the daytime.
Right.
You never know,
Better, safer. Yeah, just in case.
You hear extra sounds in the studio. No, you don't want to. Especially in the studio, it's all quiet.
Then you hear extra sound. Hey, try to remove this, but cannot. Why cannot remove?
Or where did that sound come from? Where did that sound come from? I didn't put that in. Scare myself. That's what you say.
Yeah. But back to my original question. So, like for example, if the person is on a beach, right, and then they are saying something, right, but then you want them to say something else, but
you cut away.
How?
Do cutaway. See, like you have a few cameras, right? Okay, do cutaway. Like say, fellas talking.
Or cut to the back.
Cut to the back or cut to the water.
Or cut to
splash.
Or cut to the other
Yeah,
person
then you do
reacting.
ADR, you do ADR. Then you replace that line there.
Oh.
You know what I mean? But then again, when you replace that line, it has to match the previous line because sometimes the tone is different. And that's why people like us also come in to match tones. Or we tell them to do 1 or 2 lines before that and 1 or 2 lines after that. So it gradually blends in, you see?
Wow, damn.
So a lot of work.
I mean we can go into the in-depth, but this will deserve its own podcast. I can really think of like a few problems, right? Like how long do you need the talent to be there to record the whole scene?
Depends. Like that movie I was telling you about, this Grace, I got her back in, but she was in LA, so we did a digital connection, Source Connect. Because she was there was one part of the movie she was crawling on the floor, and then she was had crazy sounds, you know. And then I called the director. I said, I think she can do better. On the shot I saw the scene, okay, but also because it was shot in a room that was a bit echoey, so it didn't have that impact. See, that's why we do ADR. When it's nice and clean, you don't have echo, you don't have, background sounds. You can do a lot of things with it. So I said, that was secondary reason. Primary reason is I felt she could do better. So the director called her and said, look, let's do an ADR session. So she was in LA, which she booked a studio in LA. They booked our studio in LA, and then we were in our own studio. And it's in real time,
so you tell her what mics to get.
I would direct that. So she'll be like, amazing thing about her, real professional actress. She'd go in the studio, she'd go on the floor and crawl also. Go to the mic.
So you got video call with her?
Yeah. We got on one set is our mixer is connected digitally by audio. That of course we use FaceTime or whatever, to see her on set.
Right.
So so she was very professional and she did this. And then when she came on screen at first, she said, Rennie, I want to kill you. She said, I'm sorry, because this is a real tough scene to do. That's why they don't like doing it, but
acting really must do. Post-production must do one more time.
So, but the results spoke for themselves. She did brilliantly well.
Yeah.
But she did tell me after the session with her, Rennie, the things that, when I do this sort of thing, this scared me, when I do these sort of things, it sort of invites other things into the room and I can see them.
Oh my God. What
I said,
I'm
so sorry.
Wow.
Yeah, she was very professional. She didn't tell us, when we were recording. So I said, really, thank you. You're very professional. And I will do justice to what we recorded for you.
But all these, do they consider like billable extra time? Or it's part of the movie?
Sometimes it depends on the... See, like I would always advise a lot of directors, or producers for film, even especially locally. So you have to sign in that contract that they have to come back for ADR. Because it's so important. I think a lot of them haven't seen the benefits of it yet.
Right.
Like this, I remember this one-time actress also. We did a movie in Thailand, English movie. The actress, pretty lady, first time acting. But she had trouble with her lines and her expressions. There was a scene that she was supposed to die in the scene because it was in a park and there was just traffic everywhere in the background, so it was just too noisy. You see, because when you have tender moments, you got to have silence and you got to have the richness of the voice.
Yes.
Because when you have a boom mic or you have a mic that's picking up a lot of noise behind it, the voice, and you clean it out and you clean out all that noise in the background, the voice tends to thin out. And when the voice thins out, meaning like, it loses the bass, then it loses emotion. Bass is emotion, you see. So we had to bring her back in. And of course, they asked me to produce her, to direct her. So in the scene, she was on a car park bench. She was on a bench lying down. So what I did the same thing. I recreated in the studio a bench. She lied down. I dimmed all the lights, put the appropriate microphones, and then it was just me and her. I was in the booth, and she was in the I was in the control room. She was in the booth. And then, there was no one else. The agency.
Then the bench inside the booth.
Yeah, inside the booth.
Oh, so you recreate the vibe.
Yeah, just for them.
Wow.
And I made her lie down because she's sort of breathless and she's about to die, And I put her into the mood, And then, of course, she's alone in that room. And I think she felt a lot more comfortable being alone. because my space is quite a big space, like, you know.
But did you tell her, hey, you don't sound like you're dying, try again?
No, with new actresses, you have to be very tender with them, actors and actresses, because, you know, I mean, they don't exude the confidence yet, you know. Whereas, you know, when I work with some of the guys from, you know, like say from Crazy Rich Asians or even the Marco Polo, the guys on set and all that, very professional. You tell them to put this on, pop, they get it. Put this on, pop, they get it. They straight away get into character. Wow. I mean, these are very seasoned actors, so that's why, you know, those who are up and coming, they need coaxing, they need direction, they need confidence most of all.
Yeah.
So in the end, she nailed it. No, after 2 or 3 takes, she nailed it. Then the client came in, and they heard it and they said, "Wow, what do you do, Rennie?" I said, "No, it's all her." And I mean, we just had to set it up nicely. You see?
You give the right support and the environment.
You see? And I love cutaways because I can add extra words, or I can add some non-verbal sounds. That makes it very real, you see?
That's why I see, like, every time Netflix, their subtitles are like grunting, storming, you know.
Yeah.
All the subtitles are like manually added, right? I presume.
I think so. I mean, nowadays they got software that can do this very fast, but most of it is some of it is quite inaccurate, you know. And of course, you have to setting up with the subtitles has to be quite accurate in terms of timing also. You can't just give it out.
Don't give away the moment, right?
Don't give it away before the action happens. So, of course, that, I mean, and when we do, you know, feature films, you know, these things we have more time to craft it. And that the beauty is in the craft. And I just, you know, like for me, for one film, it takes about ideally it takes about 3 months. I'm also involved in the music production of for the film. And I work with other composers. Sometimes I put in my own music. So, like for HBO, I remember, and even for Netflix, I was the music supervisor for this thing called Nowhere Man. The director the head of HBO called me up and said, "Rennie, the music is not happening. We want to do a bit more grungy, a bit more like a Radiohead thing." I said, "Whoa, that's up my alley, Radiohead, yeah." So I called some of my friends. Unfortunately, the main one I was looking for, he was not in town, so he was very busy. Anyway, I managed to get a few musicians on board, and we did what they wanted. You know?
Do you play musical instruments yourself?
Keyboards and guitar, you know, but I'm more studio musician, and I don't go out and perform.
In your line of profession, right, have you ever thought of like being like a touring band member, music producer kind of role?
Okay.
Or that's totally not up your alley?
Oh, totally mine. I mean, like, in the sense that I also was blessed in the sense that I had one of the reasons why I was why we started Yellow Box was because I wanted to work with some of the best people in the field, and not only in terms of picture and commercials, but also music. You see, because sometimes I needed to get bands in when clients, ad agencies, and so forth, they ask for, we want this kind of particular sound and so forth. I had I don't know if you've heard of this band, The Observatory.
Yes. Local, right?
They started out at Yellow Box. Leslie was one of my composers. He actually helped me when we were doing commercials back then. But I allowed them to do their own music, their own stuff. Leslie and Vivian. So on weekends, they do their own stuff in the studio. I just basically give them free rein. Like, want to use the studio, just carry on, do your own stuff.
Nice.
And then they got the band in. That's where the band was formed. You know? And then one or two times, I did go on tour with them also as engineer or, you know, whatever. And I did produce one of their first albums. Their first album. I forgot what it's called, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed working with them because they were very experimental, you know. I mean, so the vibe at Yellow Box back then was that we had, you know, creatives not only from the ad agency, but also musically, you know, we invited some of the best people on board to help us with our creations, not only just for albums, but also for the short films that we did. I also did Royston Dunn's first film, 15. 15 is this gangsterish,
feature film,
dark side of Singapore, which I feel to today is still one of the best films in Singapore, come out of Singapore. I did some music for that also. It was very electronic. It was very slightly Radiohead and Portishead and so forth. They were my influences back then, so I got that kind of sound. I thought it was kind of nice to put this sort of, you know, crazy music because it was basically a subculture, you know, the gangster subculture in Singapore and so forth. And putting that, I mean, if you listen to the soundtrack on that movie, it was crazy. We did some crazy stuff, you know, because these guys were high on alcohol, high on whatever. And then there were scenes that, you know, I had to recreate that sense and the feeling. So Royston gave me a lot of freedom in that. You know, I love the film. Even to today,
I
I
think
would
it's
look at
very
it.
authentically Singapore. Like,
Yeah.
you cannot copy this kind of vibe in another country because it
No.
belongs to us,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and then first time it was shot, I mean, the first time it was premiered, I mean, they had a lot of cuts, like 20 or 30 cuts, you know.
Mm.
But they did, in the end, it did get released on DVD back in the day.
Mm.
And my total honor was that when I went to France for a holiday and I went to one of those big music shops back then, I saw a copy of 15. For me, it was that, wow, we have arrived.
Yes. Yeah. Wow.
We
That's
have
that's
arrived.
such
And
a
the CD
huge
was great. Of
honor.
course, I bought one, you know.
Yeah.
Because we couldn't get any of that in Singapore. This was pre.
Imagine back then got Insta story, man. Oh, look at selfie already.
Yeah, that was pre YouTube, pre whatever lah. You know, we didn't have social media back then. For me, that was an honor lah.
We are both big fans of clubbing, right? And we basically met on the dance floor, OUE Sky with Andrew. And then I remember, like, I spoke to you, right? And then you said that you were very blessed that you can do this, right, without thinking about the need to earn money. You just do this because you love it, you know. But I think we have to bring it back to the point where initially, like, you were just starting your career, right? Is this actually a more lucrative path as compared to like being in a band or producing your own music?
Okay. There are two parts to this question. Uh, um, for me, I could survive and do better than survive in Yellow Box.
Yes.
We did pretty well, you know. Also because we had a chance to do our music but with picture. You see, because and that provided the the fiscal element to it. I mean, that we could finally make a living out of, and of course, as music supervisor, sometimes also I would give my suggestions. Clients would come to me and say, Rennie, what sort of music do you suggest? So I give them references. And then when they like this reference, I get the right bands on board, composers and so forth. More like a music producer, you know. And Zouk, thanks to Andrew Ng, of course, back in the 90s was my playground in terms of music and in terms of creation and creativity. Because
Okay.
we had a solid creative community over there.
Yes. Zouk, man.
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm not hanging out in the right kind of circles, but back then we had this circle, and then I mean, yeah, no doubt, the music was great, but we sat around like this, and we just poured our ideas out. Of course, it was a lot of fun, and then and then we talk about previous productions, future productions, what we intend to do with the circle. I mean, it goes. Sometimes I feel it goes beyond online. Online, face to face on camera, it's not as good as sitting around. We're having some drinks.
Yeah.
We were Zouk back then was creative capital of I would dare say Southeast Asia, man.
Yep.
Maybe even Asia. I don't know.
Yep.
It was top. The club was top 3, top 5. I mean, Andrew Ng. I always admire and respect the guy for the rest of my life for what he did for us in the industry. He also said because Lincoln gave him a lot of freedom.
Yeah.
I mean, you have.
You see all this magic happen. Because people just allow it.
Yeah.
But must give to the right people also.
Yeah. So that's why I met some people that I will actually in future also employ also, because I'll find for people that, and then we clicked. I say, hey, want to work with me now? Let's work on something,
Yeah.
So I mean, the great thing also about Zouk was that for me, okay, good thing good thing I live nearby. So whenever
Wow.
it was my regular coffee shop, honestly.
Travel bar.
Yeah. So the thing is that like there was always something different happening every day at Zouk.
Yeah.
Like I remember on Wednesday you would have your
Mambo.
Yeah, Mambo Jumbo. On Thursday sometimes I'd go down. I mean, just free flow. I mean, I would just go down and just like, let's see what's there. And sometimes they'll invite bands
Yeah.
from around the region, bands you've never heard of, like let's say a British band was doing their circuit around Southeast Asia. And some of these bands just threw out sounds that I had never heard before. I remember this band that they brought in called Crazy Penis. Crazy Penis. So okay, that sounds crazy. Let's just go and watch. They were crazy. They were amazing. That's why I say. I mean, like, we need this sort of like suddenly throw me a spanner, throw me something different. And I'm always looking for that. So.
Last time it's like, okay, you go to Zouk, you meet your kaki,
Yeah.
Then now there's no such need for such a communal space because the space has shifted online.
Yeah.
But like, I'm kind of like in the middle where I feel like it can exist, or rather it should exist both on and offline, because, right, of the creation of AI. And then, right, AI, right, now if you scroll a lot of TikTok or Instagram reels, right, you always see in the comment section people is like, is this real or not? Is this real or not? They start to question it already. And if it happens in real life and you see in real life, then it's confirmed it's real, right? So I guess there should be a resurgence in, they call it IRL content, in real life kind of stuff lah, which is why live stream is now getting more popular. I hope, right, live event is slowly going back up also.
Yeah. I mean, can I ask you, how do you think live events will slowly go back up? I mean, I've got some input where bands are concerned.
Personally, I feel, right, like DJing, initially it was band, right? And then the DJs took over the band. And then I feel like right now, right, anybody's grandmother can be a DJ already, honestly. Yeah, with the invention of the sync button. And now, right, it's like that you don't even download songs now with the new implementation of streaming. So you have a DJ controller that can access Wi-Fi. You can stream songs from your websites that you use to buy songs from. They allow streaming. And in those streaming websites, right, they have employees who are big name club DJs, right, that curate playlists for you. So you don't even need to think about what to play. So it's like, okay, so what is the bloody point of being a DJ anymore? And I feel like those more skill-based one, like kind of like bands or controllerism, pressing the MIDI pads, right? All those people that I feel like quote unquote require more skill one will slowly come back. Yeah, that's what I feel. And all this, in order to enjoy it, you need live.
Hit it on the nose.
Yeah.
Hit it on the button.
Yeah. I'm considering to learn guitar now, because I feel like it's actually more honorable to know guitar than DJing.
You see, like,
dude, 17 years in DJing, I feel ashamed, man. Oh my god.
No. I think there's a future in everything, for everything. I mean, I personally, I've gone back to my piano and my guitar also because I want to come up with new stuff.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree totally that the next 5 years is going to see the evolution of live. We've already seen it post-COVID. Suddenly
the Chinese live house club at Bugis, right?
Yeah,
they're booming.
Yeah, I mean, okay, I may be wrong, but I hope to be proven right in this case. I think we still need. You see, when you go to a live performance, when you witness a live band, number one, it's the personalities that shine through, that we manage to connect to. It's about connection,
right?
You see, I recently saw online on TikTok this label has put together an AI artist, AI marketing, AI everything, and I mean, I have my doubts about it because we need blood, flesh and blood. One of the reasons why also, I mean, I'm a big fan of this group. One of the reasons why also Blackpink works so well compared to the other K-pop groups. I've seen them on YouTube, their live concerts, their interaction, their chemistry, unbeatable. I've seen some of the K-pop groups live also in Singapore. The chemistry among themselves with the audience. Also there's a language barrier. But with Blackpink, I mean,
even with the language barrier, they still can do it.
Yeah, they still can
do it. Makes it even more amazing.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to G-Dragon. He's coming down for F1. So
as in his comeback tour, right?
Amazing.
G-Dragon has always been amazing.
I mean, not his music, his fashion sense, his dance moves are crazy, man. So, and then there's another Korean artist, Lee Young-ji. Have you heard of her?
No, wow, Lee Young-ji is a podcaster, right? She always do funny stuff
really?
Online, and then
lady, right? Different
Lee Young-ji, yeah.
Have you heard her sing?
Yeah, she's actually
her rap is killer.
Yeah, she's a rapper.
Yeah. Lee Young-ji,
yeah.
I mean, I swear, she's a black person in an Asian body. I tell you, she is crazy. I tell you, she's the next big thing. I guarantee.
Yeah.
With the right marketing and all that.
This one right.
Yeah, that's her.
Dude, she is a podcaster first and foremost. And then, right,
I didn't know that.
She supposed to dress every day in pajamas, and then her hair messy, and then the teeth got food stuck inside, and then she just like doing scolding vulgarities, Maybe not scolding vulgarities. It's all in Korean, right? I don't really understand, but it's like very unruly.
She's very candid. That's why live will always survive.
Yeah.
Because the characters, I think we see this.
That's only live is. Totally.
Yeah. So I totally absolutely adore her. I mean, personality wise, I can't wait for her to come to Singapore. I mean, if they ever allow, if they ever bring her in, she just blows me away. And then there's have you heard of XG now?
Yes, of course, dude. They are like triple language. Oh my god, you are a teenager, man. I swear. You know everything, man. Yeah, XG,
Coconut,
amazing.
you know
Coconut, of course. Her rap went viral, right? Yeah. And I think Korean government is really involved in K-pop to make it the success it is now, lah. Because imagine they don't have the level of government support that they have, right?
Yeah.
I think they probably wouldn't go as far, you know.
Yeah. I think that's how we can come forward. I mean, in the sense that like government support be one thing, but we also need entrepreneurship in terms of people who can help market and get the scene together. You need somebody to bring the elements together.
I think one very good example is
flow,
Heineken and Boiler Room, right?
Boiler Room's amazing.
Yeah.
And I like what you were saying since now 88 Rising. What they're doing is also crazy. Asian artists market to the rest of the world. I like what they do. I'm hoping for more of such collaboratives or whatever they call them to come forward. Actually, even coming out of Singapore. Where because artists at the end of the day are artists. They need proper management. They need social media planning and so forth. They so that they can concentrate on their music. And of course, you get this platform like what YG does. They have the next band and the next band and the next band and the next band. So the industry keeps going. You see. Yeah. Right now, when one band disappears, that's it. We're looking around for who's next.
But do you think that it's the Singaporean model and the cost of living that like people that are in a band and then they are like, time to get a real job?
I always congratulate those who
time to get a real job.
Who do both, real job in the daytime and night.
I wanted to congratulate myself. Hey, very hard, man. You can't just do this music thing alone without a day job.
I mean, that's where platforms come in, where you get these people who are heavily financially backed. And they've got proper agenda, they've got proper management in terms of not only finance, but also mainly the marketing, how you want to remarket your artists. You see, like the brand of the Korean brand is so obvious. I think if we do it in Asia or Southeast Asia, I think we have to have our own identity, our own brand.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, that's the only way people have a buy-in. Like if you look at the biggest electronic dance music artists, right, like Skrillex or Martin Garrix or whoever, right, they are starting to collab with all those Indian artists. And why? Because all these Indian artists...
Mankind.
Mankind.
Okay, that guy is killer.
But all these Indian artists, right, they have 1 billion people in their country, right? So they have their own fan base. So it makes sense for these big superstars to collab with them, right? But for Singapore, with so little people, right, we don't really have that kind of like pool as compared to India or China, right?
That's where I feel I'm seeing more of it happen. We have to collaborate with our neighbors. Malaysia's got a killer scene, especially where hip hop is concerned. I've seen some of the artists there. Wow, man, world class. I've had a studio in Jakarta for 1 year. 1 year before COVID.
Right.
I had a studio there, and I met some of the most amazing musicians, rappers, and so forth. I mean, they are. I mean, it's in their blood, lah. Musicians have got tons of bands that are really, really good. I would love to see us cross collaborating. Not only bands also, but also I think we can come forward as a bigger entity as Southeast Asia.
Of course.
I think as Singapore alone is very very tough.
Correct. Because at the end of the day, US is also United States, right?
Yeah.
So with Southeast Asia, we got 10. I mean, not counting those that are still under riot and political turmoil, right? Maybe we have 8 countries. Yeah.
Like Coffee and Beats, I think they get DJs from around the region, right? Like they're doing an event pretty soon.
Beans and Beats.
Bean and Beats, sorry.
Yeah. They're getting people from Australia,
that's a pretty good strategy.
Yeah. Correct.
It's clever, I must say. That's very clever.
Yeah.
So that's the business side of things. I mean, we don't know we have this and so forth, but I think there needs to be more collaboration, not only with the artists, but also with the business people who are in marketing, basically. I think we need marketers to come forward and help, not only help, make it profitable.
Right. And also, like, talking about like rising causes of like clubbing and all that kind of thing, I also think that we need more sponsors involved to kind of make things possible. Yeah, because if all the cost is being parked to the party goers, right, or the audience, right, then they will be less likely to come out, and then you don't have a scene.
Exactly.
So I guess in a way that right now as a musician, you also have to kind of figure out how your music or how your content can kind of serve a company's vision or something. I don't know. And then they will be able to sponsor you to make your vision come to life. Which is like kind of defeats the purpose in a way of like being a musician, right? Like back then it's like you create music because of how you authentically feel. And now it's like if you do that, no money lah, cannot survive lah. Yeah.
That's always the controversy. You know what I mean? Like, okay, like, I think YG's greatest loss was Rosé from Blackpink. They never knew she was such a killer composer. You know what I mean? Look at it. She's like, I don't know how many, 9 nominations for the VMAs. I think she's like, wow. And I always surprised that lady's gonna get a lot of Grammys or so upcoming.
Yeah.
But they didn't know she was
such a good singer.
Allowed her to do her craft. I mean, yeah, because we get all these, the way music has turned around. It's always about the marketing first and then the music.
Right.
We find the right audience, target audience, and we do the music for the audience.
Yes.
I feel that's dated. Right now, that's dated. I think there needs to be a new resurgence where I think we need to put new sounds out there and make it marketable, because marketing now, I won't say it's easy, but it's so much more accessible in terms of your social media. What you put out there, sometimes, if it's done very cleverly, like how the guys in advertising used to do it, I think it's how you put things in people's, on their radar, and they say, hey, I've heard that, hey, I heard that.
So create a new sound.
Yeah, a new sound.
Find people to like it, rather than find people to make the new sound.
Yeah. Marketing a new sound. I mean, look, in brand, even in fashion and so forth, the catwalks, the big ones in Paris, you see the fashion is crazy, but people pick points from that and they make it commercial. Same thing I see. I mean, because talk about underground scene.
Right.
LA. Okay, I've been there a few times. I mean, their boiler room sessions. They have this what's this bar that I used to go to? This club that I used to go to, underground. But I remember a DJ on radio saying back then in America, it says, we don't have the underground, we don't have a mainstream, because the mainstream guys go to the underground bars and clubs and whatever they have online to find for new stuff.
Right.
Kendrick Lamar, I discovered Kendrick like 10 years ago.
Before Mad City.
Yeah, and I love this stuff. And then when I'll tell you, have you heard this? Have you heard it? And people say, no, because I loved his crazy arrangement, his jazz arrangements under his, and now he's so hot. And I mean, how did he get from there to there? He was considered quite experimental back then.
Because it is experimental.
Yeah.
He stood out.
So you have an underground.
Yeah.
And that's where it becomes mainstream. If you don't have that, everything just sounds the same and the same and the same. And then people don't go to your clubs. People get tired.
Right.
Yeah.
So why do you think Korean media is so successful? K-pop, K-movies. What is the secret to their success? Are they authentically themselves? That's why they are successful? I don't think so, right?
I feel so, no?
Because they've got quite a lot of things they copy the American model.
I've seen the underground scene also. Wow, crazy, man. I've seen some of their shows.
I was just at Itaewon last week. Whatever. Yeah, underground scene. Oh my god, man. So packed.
Yeah.
Singapore, we keep talking about nightlife is dying, right? Like, nightlife is dying, this concept, but it doesn't exist for them. They're like, damn packed. I'm like, not dying for you.
Yeah. I mean, it's something I'm still studying and see, my adage right now is like, if they can do it, how come we can't?
I mean, there are certain disadvantages that we
we're
have.
A rich country, we've got everything that we need. I mean, in terms of, we're financial capital hub of,
I think population plays a big part also, because let's just say if you have an underground, you have enough people to have an underground scene.
Yeah.
Singapore underground scene, only me and my neighbor only. Yeah.
No, as I said, like you go to Telegram, you see all this, and I'm so proud of the kids. I mean, they have their little mini music festivals in these warehouses and suburban areas, and they have the bands performing. They have I did one at my studio actually. I got these kids and I allowed them to use my space for it was called Street Meets. Yeah, so they had bands. They had their own merchandise, their own merch they were selling, and then they had little workshops here and there, all organized by them. I think a bunch of polytechnic students. I think. Yeah.
So I think
very proud of that.
For your kind of job and your hobby, it kind of intersect. And then from there, you can also find great talents for your productions and everything. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, it's always like trying to find the next big new thing, right?
Yeah. I've seen good stuff. Even that 100 Bands Festival, some of these bands are, at least 10 to 20 of them, you put a good marketing team behind them, I think they can succeed worldwide.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, that confident because they got the sound. It is there. Their material is there already. And they're fresh. I've never heard this sort of sound before, or, they appeal to a certain level. just that people don't know of them, or they're not, they don't have the backing, like let's just say like a K-pop group has with YG Entertainment and so forth, and how they push things out there. They can't do it alone. It's very hard to do it alone.
Right.
You see? So that, but the thing is that why I'm so attracted to the music scene right now, and also even the clubbing scene, seriously, because the only thing I want to see is more underground gigs for DJs, lah. I'd love that. I think Andrew had one the other day with some Korean DJs and so forth. It was great, man. Wow, that was great. At High House.
The one with the vinyl, we were all there. We were all there, yeah.
That blew me away. And you see these guys with vinyl. I mean,
most people don't even know what's that. Most people don't even know what that.
And the great thing is these DJs are the Korean. They'll come out to the dance floor and talk to people while they're spinning. Yeah, they came out doing shook my hand after they went back to the deck.
Yeah, back then, vinyl DJing is a little bit more serious. Now they kind of factor in the need for customer service.
Customer service, that's a good one.
Yeah. I mean, I had a podcast with one of the DJ instructors in Singapore, Ashe. He has been instructing DJing for so many years, right? And he said this one-liner that, oh man, I had to agree. It's like DJing is a contact sport. If you just DJ like that, then might as well put Spotify. Why need you? Right? Yeah.
I'm kind of glad, like Boiler Room, they put the audience behind them also. It's kind of nice. See the, people reacting to the
interactions
music.
and everything.
Yeah, that's kind of nice.
Okay, I think today's a great episode.
Oh man, thanks, man.
Thank you so much.